You're watching Moms Matter. I'm your host, Shirin Yadigar, and today in the studio we have Elizabeth Winkler. She is a family marriage therapist, and truly, when you tap into her and meet her, you realize that she is a healer and has so many great skills she's going to share with us today. So thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, you just walked into this room and you have this energy, and I went from like a 10 of anxiety down to like a 1 because you just kind of like chilled out the space. So thank you for that energy. And I know that what you do is really based in energy. Tell us a little bit kind of what is the work that you do? Because you're not just a traditional therapist.
That's right. So thank you for having me. I originally started doing therapy over 20 years ago. And through the work that I've done, I've realized that actually, if we're not working with the energy in your body, you can't really transform what you're going through. Right. And so I call mindfulness the bullet train to freedom. I integrate mindfulness into our practice, into our process work. So if you're feeling anxious, if anyone right now is feeling anxious, fear, we all are, right?
Yes.
That's like an active energy inside of you. So I tell people, instead of calling it anxiety, I have a little hack for this, for anxiety, anyone that's feeling anxious. Instead of calling it anxiety, call it activation. So I'm activated. Now, why am I shifting anxiety to activation? Because anyone that has had any issue with anxiety, and most of us have, you're going to resist. The moment I say I'm anxious, I'm going to resist that. And what you resist persists. So this little storm, this is my little snow globe, okay? So this is what anxiety is like. It's like you're all shook up, like a snow globe, right?
Right.
And so in order for us to shift that, call it activation. I'm activated like a snow globe. Not why am I activated, where? So that's a mindfulness question. Where am I noticing this activation? And then you can do this practice, pause. You can close your eyes if you can, or just, if you can't close your eyes, just bring your attention into your body.
Right.
And just notice the weather within you. Notice the activation. Sometimes it's like, some dark clouds. Sometimes it's like a Category 5 hurricane. And when we can shift from our head, which is all the fear,
right?
And it's like 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. Okay, if you keep attending to that, you're moving from a drop of water to a thought stream of fear to an ocean of panic, right?
Yes.
And so we can shift our attention from our head to wherever that's happening, usually in the heart, sometimes in the belly. So where am I noticing this energy? Bring your attention to it. And then we can just do this right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
So just bring your hands to your heart,
okay.
Closing your eyes, and just noticing what's happening inside of your torso area. Just pausing with the breath, with gentleness, not trying to get rid of anything, just allowing whatever is here to be here, and just noticing the weather within you. And you also will notice that the breath is moving through this area. So the breath is like the wind moving through whatever weather we have within us. So just allow that. Allow the breath to move. Allow the breath to lengthen, to deepen, to slow. And maybe even just repeating, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. And just notice any shifts, any changes, maybe some openings up to the sky beneath the clouds. And taking another nice, deep, slow breath in. And on the exhale, opening your eyes. Doesn't even have to be that long.
Yes.
How was that?
That was great.
So pausing with our energy is critical. Critical. And it doesn't have to be that long. It could be for a second. It could be for a moment. It could be just touching your heart.
Right.
Remembering your heart. Okay? So my work is all about heart alchemy. And I really shifted the way that I work with individuals, groups, college kids, little children, families. But it's all based in that active energy and how our fear can become transformed to freedom. and our pain can become our power. So it's all about how we work with the energy, how we meet it. So I have a lot of little hacks to do that.
I mean, first of all, I feel much better just taking a minute. I don't even think it was a full minute, but it just really, pausing really does help. I think now with all the news coming out at us, watching the war on terror, watching what's happening on campuses, for moms, it's exhausting. It's petrifying. There's so much going on, and it's 24/7 because it's on our phones, right?
Yeah.
So we're getting calls from our college students who are just in a frenzy, rightfully so. So many of these Jewish students are being told they cannot go into non-Jewish spaces, that they're dirty Jews. I mean, these kids have never seen this type of hate before. There is so much hate raging in the world, and it's so hard to process. And so when we get those phone calls of our kids in a frenzy, what advice do you have for parents who are getting these calls, who are already so stressed out and filled with anxiety ourselves, right? Yeah. How do we help our children?
Well, first we all have to help ourselves, right? It's like on the airplane, you have to put the oxygen mask on you.
Yes.
That's something that I learned, through my own raising of my children and currently what I'm dealing with as well. So, how are you tending to your own heart, and how are you tending to your own anxiety? How are you grounding? Are you in community with other women, other moms that are sharing similar experience, reaching out, connecting with loved ones? So important right now. So really, we have to take care of our mental health right now at such a deeper level. If you already have self-care practices, it's time to double them up. It's time to, put that as the number one priority.
Right.
And, how are you starting your day? That would be the first thing I would say. So the level of anxiety and fear that we're seeing on the planet right now is skyrocketing.
Yeah.
No matter what, right? And so we've seen that if you start your day, how you start your day is the trajectory of your day, right? So if you wake up and you look at the news, or you look at your text messages, which you may want to because you have a child somewhere. I have a child across the country too.
Right.
So, but I trained myself to do my meditation practice first. Now, why? Because I don't know what's going to be on the other side of my text message. I don't know what's going to be on the other side of that news, especially right now, right?
Right.
So I need to tend to that, because the first thing I put into my brain and my heart is molding me.
Yes.
So if I'm seeing all this stressful content and violence, then I'm going to be stressed and violent. It's just the way it is. The brain, whatever you see first.
Yes.
So starting with breath, starting with meditation. I have a lot of meditations. I love Insight Timer. There's so many teachers on there. I highly recommend that as an app. Or just even putting your hand on your heart and your hand on your belly and just breathing with that. Or you can also, another practice is putting both hands on the heart and extending the exhale. That is a good practice for anyone to do at any time, because that's through heart math. The extension of the exhale, it engages it activates the vagus nerve, so the amygdala that's been activated. So if we ever feel your daughter calls, your son calls, whoever it may be, and you're getting activated, focus on your breath. Focus on extending your exhale. Now, this is going to be easier for you if you have a practice.
Right.
If you're already starting your day practicing it, and then you get the call.
Right.
It's easier for you to connect to that.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
And also another thing that I love to use is mantras. So, I have my snow globe, which you can put the mantras in, but I also have, a lot of different lemonade mantras, like this one, where's love and forgiveness. This is a practice I created years ago that your love and forgiveness are natural in your heart. They naturally flow. They're blocked when we're in fear. So just simply asking that question, where's love and forgiveness? Where's love and forgiveness? Just asking that, it shifts you into that space that is natural. We all need more of that for ourselves, for our children, for our community, right?
Yes.
So I have a lot of mantras, that's one I'm thinking of at this time. Another one is maybe, maybe not. That's really good for judgment because we're so locked right now in like something bad's going to happen, you know, or am I safe? And, you know, we need to create safety for our children. We need to create safety for ourselves. How can we do that? So if you're struggling with judgment, maybe, maybe not is my favorite mantra for that. It really helps us let go of this. This is going to create a projection of fear that we cannot get out of.
Yes.
We need to get present. So we have to use tools to allow the mind to let go, to get back into the present moment. So using one of the mantras, maybe, maybe not, I'm fine with it, where's love and forgiveness, I can handle this, I have a bunch. This too shall pass. Okay, so all of these mantras are something for the mind to focus on so that I can get present with my heart, I can pause with my heart. And then I can access deeper wisdom. I can connect with my deeper being.
Right, and you can't do that when you're in a frenzy, and it feels like we're all just being looped into this whirlwind and this tornado. Everybody's on group chats, you're seeing these images, you're getting the phone calls, right? It's nonstop, and you're saying you're gonna completely spiral if you don't first start your day with a practice, with a meditation, with a mantra, so that when you do get hit with all of this, you can deal with it with the wisdom and not get, you know, into the whirlwind.
Yes. Another thing you can do at the beginning of the day is pick an intention. So the building blocks of our life are intention and attention. So where attention goes, energy flows. You're talking about that.
Yes.
If I have a worried thought and I attend to that, it's a drop of water. I always say 60 to 80,000 thoughts. It's like rain.
Yeah.
If I attend to that, it becomes a thought stream, river, ocean of fear.
Yes.
Okay. Or I can shift my attention to my intention, which I have a mantra for that.
Let's hear it.
So let me be. And then you pick an energy, like maybe it's, I don't know, what would you pick? I'll give it to you.
Let me be.
Let me be, it's like forgiving, calm, grateful, present, free, grace, kind, understanding, brave, compassionate, happy, love.
And
you pick one of those.
Right,
words.
which right now I think we need to be more understanding. Like I know I need to be more understanding.
Okay, let me be understanding. So that would be your intention, okay, that today, right? And so what you can do, I've done this from time to time when I really want to embody it, I write it on my wrist. Then I'm seeing it all day. Oh, I wanted to be in understanding today. Let me be understanding. I bring my attention to that. And you're going to see your wrist all day long.
Yes, yes.
And so that's a really helpful tool, very grounding.
I love that.
Okay. One more thing I want to say that I'm thinking of for parents that are getting these frantic calls. In order for us to be present, you know, you can use your body as an anchor. This is like, bringing our attention to our breath is one thing, but sometimes that's very difficult for people. So I want to offer something else. Okay. Right now, I can bring my attention to like the chair beneath me, or I can bring my attention into my hands. That makes me present. As you're talking to me, place your awareness somewhere in your body. Somewhere like your hands, your feet. And you think that it would distract you. It doesn't. It makes you present because it's not in your mind that's spiraling and fearing what's going to happen next, and you know, what am I going to say and how am I going to respond, sort of thing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That's something I do with couples when I'm working with couples. I'm like, ground your attention in your body somewhere. You can even just grip. You can hold something. You know, so if your kid is calling you, you can touch the table and just be like, table. You know, and be on the call, and that will help you stay grounded so that you can be available to listen and validate your child and be there for them, because this desire that everyone needs right now is to feel safe. So creating that safe space within our own self and our heart and our mind is where we start.
Yes, 100%, and that is the biggest. It's the safety issue, all right? And you think it's right now and it's going to happen. And I try with my girls when we talk on the phone, and I hear this with all my friends, is to the minute they call is, okay, breathe with me for a minute. Let's breathe together, right? And so in that moment, it helps and it calms down. But I don't know that these kids are able to reset themselves, right? And what I'm so fearful of is that they're completely going to check out, not going to classes, you know, not showing up for things. A lot of these kids are locking themselves in their dorm rooms because they're so scared. how do we, I mean, do we physically get on a plane and fly down there? Do we, you know, they say, go to the psychologist on campus. These kids are not going to go and seek help from a stranger that they've never met before. They're just not, right? So all that you're saying is so valid and so helpful, but how can we reach through on a telephone, right? How can we really say to them, I promise you, this is going to help you?
It's about empowering yourself first with tools that work, right? When you do this,
yes,
and you understand the power of getting connected to the power within you, the safety that you can create in an unsafe environment. Right. I understand it's very unsafe for a lot of people.
Right.
And so then being able to empower them with those choices of how they can calm their anxiety, how they can express themselves openly. And then, you know, every individual case is going to be different as to if a parent needs to go and get their child. You know, that's an individual process. I would love to see some communities that we can create for college kids that are going through this right now. I would be more than happy to, you know, help in that way. I've loved over the years going to college campuses, speaking to young women. You know, when I was in college, I went through a very difficult time. I did well, like on the outside, but I was suffering. So it's such an honor for me to be able to go back to colleges and be able to give all of these women or men the tools that actually transform you and help your fear become freedom, you know? So I hope that we can create more communities that these young people are suffering.
Yes, they are. And I think to myself, like, okay, we're watching this in the United States or globally around the world. And then I think, well, what about the soldiers on the ground? How do they cope? Like, you know, what are the skills that these people who are the warriors on the ground, they're about to go into combat, right? There is no way they can go in if they're in a frenzy, which is the big message here, is that, like, they're on the ground, they're there, we're here. If they can do it, you can do it. But it all starts with your mindfulness, your meditation.
What's the story you're telling yourself? You know, you say you can do it. So the mantra that keeps you in your heart is, I can handle this. You're not going to think you can handle these mantras. You're saying the opposite of what you're thinking, okay? Because you're like, I can't. There's no way.
Right.
And so even if it's just like, I can handle my heart, I can handle this, I can handle there's some weather within, your mind is going to say a lot of other things, okay? So once we go into the mind, it gets more difficult. But if we can stay grounded in our bodies and work with that, so what's the story you're telling yourself about, you know, that's something to be conscious of.
Yes.
But like to address like the soldiers and everything, I mean, that's just, they're in total trauma and there's going to be a lot of energy to unpack. You know, I think I mentioned I have a heart healing step process that actually deals with that. It's like an alchemy process. It's under an hour. It's a virtual video, 4 steps, and it's about healing hate that we're holding onto.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what it's actually called.
Healing hate.
Yeah, healing. It's a heart healing process. I created about a year ago because I've been doing I have a practice called Heart Surgery Kit, which I took to Africa and helped children who had lost their entire families to Ebola. So that was like it is one of my methods I have, and that's effective for adults as well. But I wanted to create something else. And so this healing the heart, healing alchemy, healing hate within is a 4-step method. There's a meditation, and then there's just an active process that you can do. And I've had clients do it as they're walking down the street too, like create their own way of doing it. So
this is incredible. I mean, this is a billboard that should be taken out to go into every single college campus so that they can heal hate, because this is just coming from misinformation and hate. Like, why are we feeling hate? Why can't we get back to our heart space? So what you're saying is incredible. Can you give us maybe just a little bit into what this is and how people can tap into it if they're interested in doing this 1 hour?
Yeah, so it's available on my Instagram, and you can click on a link or go to my website, elizabethwinkler.com. But the H, so hate, so healing hate. So the H is what are you holding on to? So everyone right now can just get in touch with something they're holding on to, okay? Because this is a process of letting go, is what the healing hate process is. So what am I holding on to? And instead of why am I holding on to it, where? So finding that energy inside of you. It's like a form. Maybe it's like a, metal armor all over. When we close our eyes and we actually go inside, you will discover what is there. It's fascinating.
But I love what you just said. Don't think about why, because that's the problem. We're thinking with our minds rather than going to our heart space. So stop thinking about why you're feeling whatever you're feeling.
Where?
Where is it in the body? That's huge.
Where and what am I noticing? Where is it and what am I noticing? So that's a great thing to do with your child calling you. Where are you feeling this? Because the why is analysis paralysis.
Yes.
And a lot of therapy can be that. That's why I changed the way the therapeutic process was. And I said mindfulness is the bullet train to freedom, because using those mindfulness techniques, we move out of the head and into the energy. So what am I holding on to? Where is it? What do I notice? And with children, younger children, the heart surgery, we draw it. So I used to draw like a heart on a window with my daughter, or when we would get into it, like something, I'd draw a heart on the window, and then I would draw what I was holding on to. She would draw what she was holding on to. So that's another way you can express it if people want to. And then the second step is, can I accept that this feeling is here inside of my body? Can I accept it? Most people are like, I don't want to accept it. I don't want to accept it, because they think that means I have to approve of it. Well, what I say about that is, if you go to your car and one of the tires is flat, would you say, I don't accept it, I'm just going to drive with 3 tires around LA? And how would that go? Well, you'd probably hurt yourself, hurt other people.
Yes.
Acceptance is, it is what it is. This is here. This energy is inside of my body. Am I willing to say yes to the energy? A gentle yes. Yes, this is here.
Yes.
We need to be gentle with our hearts.
Yes.
Okay? Yes. So then once we've done that, I'm moving quickly through this, we go to T, which is trust. Can I trust that this energy inside of me actually knows what it needs to do? Because the energies, the traumas that we all have.
Yes.
And you were talking about the soldiers that they're storing. We're all storing.
Yes.
They get stored, but they have energy. If they're given their energy, they can open and alchemize. Okay? And so when we trust, we have 2 choices, fear or trust. Okay?
Yes.
And so when we're in fear, it's resistance and it's all locked up.
Yep.
And we say, can I trust that the energy here, can I trust this energy? Can I trust that it knows what to do? I trust the energy. With the acceptance, it's like you're taking the hand. It's like the way I say, it's like, what am I holding on to? Can I accept the hand of this energy? Like if it were like a child reaching up for my heart? Yes, I accept. And then the trust is, can I let this child, this younger version of myself, lead the way? I trust.
Wow.
And then the energy can do its dance, whatever that may be. And then the E is, I give permission. You have to ask, because you have to say yes or no. Can I give permission for this energy to expand however it would like, inside or outside of my body? And then the transformation is complete.
That is revolutionary. Like, that is brilliant, Elizabeth, what you just said. Like, if you were to take that and just teach every single human being what you just said, we'd be living in a very different world.
Well, I'd love to do that.
Wow.
That's kind of my intention, is to help people get in touch with the power within them.
Yes.
We all have this capacity.
Yes, we do. And you're helping ignite it and educate. And I just love what you're doing. And I feel so privileged to have had this conversation with you today, to have you take the time to come in here and to really share your knowledge and your research with everyone. I really do think it's one person at a time, right? If we can affect one person at a time to let go of the fear and the anger and the hate, we create a more beautiful world.
Yes, we would.
Really?
We transform the world by transforming ourselves. That's my dear friend David G. He says that all the time.
Yeah, well, you're doing it, and I'm so thankful to you, and I thank you for sharing this. And for everybody watching, I would love for you who are not following Elizabeth, follow her, and then you can tap into this 1 hour that you know people can. Where can they find it on your Instagram? Where?
So I have a link tree. You can go there. It's like Heal Your Heart Now, or if you go to my website elizabethwinkler.com, there's a heart healing course, and so you don't have to do the whole hour at once. You can break it up, but it's something you'll have for the rest forever. And anytime you're feeling activated and you can't get in touch with your therapist or your mom or your friend or whoever, you can use that. There's also a meditation attached that's only 18 minutes that you can use regularly. So
I just think all of these children coming out of COVID, right, with all the anxiety that we're seeing, something like this can really help all of these kids really just figure out where those feelings are coming from and learning to let it all go. It's brilliant, 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 amazing. Thank you so much for being who you are and for shedding light in such a dark time right now. I'm so happy that we got you here on Moms Matter.
Thank you so much.
Making the world a better place, and you saw it right here on Moms Matter with Elizabeth Winkler. We'll see you all next time.